Introduced him.
Ah.
He screwed everybody up. We know him very. He was a very nice young man.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was a young man once myself.
Me too.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think they can hear you. All right, Chief. Essentially, we had index cards for you to put any questions you might have during the format. I'd like to ask a question. We still have an index card. We'll pick them up at some point during the proceedings. You know, we'll finish those questions as we can.
Would anybody like an index card? Yeah. Go ask him. Want to?
Oh, my God, I wouldn't be there.
Hey, just one more time, if you think you're interested in writing a question on the card, raise your hand, I'll get the card. And in about a minute, I will try to collect those cards from you. These are questions, basically questions from you to ask the candidates. So if you want a card, let me know.
All right, can we grab our seats, please? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Sousa. I am the chairman of Downtown Sarasota Alliance. This is a partnership tonight between the Downtown Sarasota Alliance and the Downtown Sarasota Condo Association. And I'll introduce Peter in a few minutes, who's going to be a big part of this. I just wanted to make it up. Thank you for all being here. This is related to downtown. Most of us live in downtown and are very concerned about a lot of issues in downtown because we love downtown. Downtown Sarasota employs 23,000 people, making it the city's main epicenter for economic development. It is the heart of the city. Is the heart of city and state government, city and county government. It is the center for judicial system as well as the Sarasota Police Department and the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. It offers 82 restaurants, retail shops, a thriving farmers market, a downtown historic district, numerous live theaters, a Cinema 20 in the Burns Court Cinemas, Sarasota Opera, the ballet, and the Sarasota Orchestra. It is a thriving focal point for the sustainability as it has beautiful parks, playgrounds, and a picturesque, wonderful bayfront. It is this area that many local and transplanted people want to come and live in. It is a world-class destination and it needs to be sustained. That's my opening statement. I would like to introduce our candidates here tonight. Thank you all for coming. I know you have a very busy schedule. We're delighted to have you here. And I will do this in alphabetical order. Number one, before we do that, they are running for 2 at-large seats on the city commission. These are at-large, they're not district seats. Election day is March 12th. That's the first election day. If there's a runoff, the second election day will be March 14th. I'm sorry.
That would be good.
I meant May 14th. Okay, from on your right, my left, Suzanne Atwell, who is an incumbent city commissioner. She lives in Bird Key. Her profession, besides being a politician, now is a clinical psychologist. To her right is Susan Chapman, who lives in Hudson Bayou neighborhood. She is an attorney, also has an MSW. Next to her is Linda Holland, who is a resident of Gillespie Park. She was owner and real estate broker of Urban Properties of Sarasota Incorporated. We have then Richard Dorfman, who is actually a resident of the Rosemary District. He is a retired international sports agent. Kelvin Lumpkin lives in Indian Beach, Sapphire Shores neighborhood, and he is pastor of the At Light of the World International Church. And Pete Sison lives in the Alta Vista neighborhood and he is a retired acupuncturist. I would like at this time to now introduce Peter Fanning, who's going to continue with our questions. Peter is the chairman of the Downtown Sarasota Condo Association. He is also the secretary of the Downtown Sarasota Alliance, so we work pretty closely together. Peter?
Thank you, Tony. I want to thank everyone, especially the candidates for turning out tonight. And I'm going to apologize. I don't often speak to your backs, but I'm a little constrained here, and I'll just have to apologize to you for that. First, I'd like to thank a number of folks who made this very much possible to have a forum here tonight. There was a lot of work on this. We have Barbara Campo, who's a member of DSCA and been very active in that. We did a lot of setups here. We have Carol Reynolds, who also is active in Downtown Sarasota Condominium Association, and Dina LaRoe, who will be acting tonight as the timekeeper. Dina will have a yellow warning sign that'll give you 30 seconds notice, and a red stop sign. I did ask Lieutenant Randy Boyd to come here and ticket you for going through stop signs, but I haven't seen you yet. And we have Barbara Cruiser, who's the Downtown Sarasota Alliance office manager, and without her help, much of this wouldn't be happening tonight either. And I'd like to also, obviously, thank very much the Church of the Redeemer and its staff for providing us with this great facility, setting it up for us, and being such a integral part of our community when it comes to community events like this. I'm going to give each candidate about 90 seconds, not about, a full 90 seconds to self-introduce and go further than the introduction that Tony Sousa made, to give further information to the people before us this evening. And I will start, obviously, with Suzanne Atwell at the beginning of the... You can hand that around.
Oh, I love having mics. I'm so used to it. Thank you very much. I know a lot of you, but those who don't know me, I'm Suzanne Atwell. I've been living in Sarasota now for 20 years. It feels like it's been 40. Started out as a psychotherapist working with our most disenfranchised in the community. People ask how I got into politics, and I think a lot of it has to do with some of the skills that I learned as a psychotherapist. And I call them the soft skills, the listening skills, the collaborative skills, those kind of skills that you need to govern. And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm the only one up here that's the incumbent. I govern. And I'm also campaigning. And I'm reading this book called The Art of Compromise, where it pretty much states and talks about that it's governing, that you can compromise, but when you govern, you need to compromise. Campaigning undermines it. And I think there's a real point to all that when you govern, you have to look at governing from the center. When you campaign, you often campaign on the edges of policy issues. I want 4 more years, and I know I have very little time. I've done 4 years, I want 4 more years. I bring continuity, institutional knowledge, the relationships I have built, especially being mayor for the past 2 years. I was honored to be elected mayor twice by my peers, and I have to tell you how that afforded me the opportunity to meet hundreds and hundreds more people, and believe me, that helps me in crafting policy. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. My name is Susan Chapman. You have to remember Chapman because already we've been called Susan and Suzanne, and there's a big mix-up in this election, so you have to remember our last names. My late husband and I moved here 23 years ago because of Sarasota's great quality of life. We considered a lot of other places, but it was the arts and cultural amenities, and the beautiful environment that drew us here. And since we've been here, I've been a practicing attorney in downtown Sarasota, actually working in downtown Sarasota for 23 years, practicing law and running for office. Wow, an incompatible job. I've worked on a variety of community efforts, including boards of directors and being honored by being elected president of many boards of directors of agencies in this community, including the mental health community centers. I helped to create the Women's Legal Fund. I've served on the planning board since 2008 and was chair of the planning board in 2010. I worked for campaign finance reform, and I also chaired the campaign in 2009 on behalf of the city manager council form of government. I would appreciate your vote on March 12th. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Linda Holland. I'm a 32-year resident of the city of Sarasota. Actually live in the same house for 32 years in Gillespie Park. A lot of you know me because of my activism in the neighborhoods, and I have been what I consider a neighborhood warrior for any number of years. But I'm also a small business owner. I manage rental property. I manage about 50 rental units. So on a day-to-day basis, I know what it takes to just get through the day and work with a variety of people. And as I looked around the room tonight, there's someone missing, and that's my boyfriend. And I think it's okay to say this because his wife knows too. But Paul Thorpe was one of the first people that I met when I came to Sarasota. And Paul and I've worked with Paul for many, many years in making Sarasota from what it was in the early 80s to the vibrant downtown that it is today, with all of the 4th of July and the Christmas parade and all of the events that we've done downtown. I sat on the original redevelopment advisory board in 1988, so I've seen a tremendous change in downtown Sarasota. And it's been a good change, but we can get better. So I hope you'll give consideration to my 30 years of community involvement and vote for Linda Holland on March 12th.
Hi there, my name is Richard Dorfman. I first visited Sarasota in 1977, fell in love with the place, as most of us sitting here have. It was always my desire to be able to come here and retire in my golden years, and I've approached them. You wouldn't think that, but I have. I bought a home here about 8 years ago, and basically, as I looked around and in my retirement, I said, well, there's a lot we can do in Sarasota. It's not about making Sarasota better, it's about pushing the boundaries of our potential to achieve greatness. And I think we have the opportunity to achieve greatness as a city. My background, as Peter mentioned, or as it was mentioned, Tony, I have 25 years in the sports and entertainment field. I was a sports agent. What I did for a career is bring people that were on opposing ends of any particular situation, bring them into the middle and convince them there is value in meeting in the middle for the greater good. And I think that's something that's going to be a very good skill once I'm elected commissioner. I would ask for your vote. I think if you look around, you know the problems that face our city. Look around at the people up here. Who do you think can adjudicate those problems? I think some of our biggest problems will involve negotiation, will involve business development, will involve mediation. Our police commissioner, our police contract is coming to a close very shortly. That's going to be a heck of a negotiation. But look around. Who has the skill set to do the most for our city, facing the problems that we have, and facing all the good things we have as well. Thank you. I ask you for your vote on March 12th.
Thank you so much to DSA and to Downtown Condo Association. Thank you so much for having us here, and thank all of you for coming out to hear us tonight. My name is Kelvin Lumpkin. In December, I would have lived here 40 years. And after completing college, I got my degree in accounting from Bethune-Cookman University, came back here, was a nurse home administrator, eventually went into full-time ministry, and I'm currently in school now at the University of Florida, working on an MBA. I decided to run for city commission out of my love for this city and my desire, like all of us desire, to see Sarasota grow, thrive, and prosper for everybody. And so I look forward to sharing my vision and ideas about how Sarasota can prosper. And I believe, of course, downtown is going to be absolutely vital to Sarasota's prosperity. So I look forward to sharing that more and more. A few years ago, me and my wife said I do in this very church. And so I hope at the end of this meeting, you'll say I do as well. And we'll get married, at least for 4 years, we'll be married. So I look forward to sharing my views with you. Thank you so much.
I'm Pete Tyson. If you live in condos downtown, you've got one very big horse in this race, and that's the effort to water down the sound ordinance. There are two people here who haven't waffled on the issue, and I'm one of them. I am in favor of 10 o'clock curfew of all outdoor amplified music. They can take it inside at 10 o'clock. If you live in one of these condos, perhaps the real estate agent told you that it was soundproof. When one of those guitars with an amplifier starts up, you'll find out it's not. So you've got two people up here. I'm one of them. And The other one will let you know, I think. The other, you're gonna see him waffle around on it. Or if you watch the other videos of the other forums. The other forums, there was a lot of dancing around that issue. I'm on your side on that one. And Susan, not Suzanne. So, you know, if that's important to you, you need to know who your friends are.
Thank you very much, each of the candidates. Two things I'm going to ask that as the candidates are speaking, if they say something that you really, really agree with, hold your applause. We'll give them due applause at the end of the meeting. If they say something you disagree with, be polite and hold that as well. The second is I'm going to ask all of the candidates to make sure that any electronic device they have is turned off or on silent, and please do not use it during the forum, and I'm going to ask the audience to do the same. Thank you very much. I'm going to change the format from what's generally traditional in this first go-around. The first question for each candidate, we have tailored specifically to the candidate, either something they've said or something they've been quoted as saying or a position that they hold that we're going to ask them about. And after having many, many years of graduate school seminars and training, I always felt that I wish I had gotten the other person's question in the seminar to answer. So, on the second question, each candidate will be able to answer any other candidate's question. Okay? Yeah, that'll become obvious as we do it. So, we're going to start again with Suzanne Atwell, and we'll be changing the order as we go through. Ms. Atwell, you have been quoted as saying that you would like to bridge the gap between the neighborhoods and the downtown, implying at least that there is a chasm that needs bridging. What are the major gaps